Welcome back to another episode of 40 and Fighting. This is the White Belt Slayer, aka Blue Belt Wrangler. This will not be an episode of 40 and Fighting today. This will be an episode of two old men, maybe talking about jiu-jitsu, probably talking about other things that suck. So, just to let you know, this episode won't be funny, and it won't be about jiu-jitsu. It'll probably be about PEDs and Europe. I don't know. Fuck those guys.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. As you can see, things are a little bit different. Hopefully, we had a cool intro. I don't know if his lazy ass did it or not. Well, you'll know if he did. If not,
I'm actually Anthony. I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he actually lost weight. This is Anthony from the future. He came back just to make this podcast.
I'm still over 200, so I can still do something.
He's still not victim weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, you know what it is, your boy John. This is Eddie, one of the brown belts at our gym. Anthony is currently out in Texas. I don't know what the hell he's doing. I'm not here, so it doesn't really fucking matter. So Eddie is a brown belt under Omar, and he so graciously offered to kind of co-host while Anthony was out because we couldn't get in an episode before he left.
It feels so inviting being in Anthony's seat. Like I can feel the
warmth,
the warmth, and also
cheeks.
Like the cheek indentation. It's so giving and
yeah. He definitely broke it in quite well.
It smells really good too.
Yeah, You
I don't know what kind of
soap
he uses.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to ask him that.
Yeah. Got a good smelling ass.
Hey, I can't confirm or deny that one, but I'll leave that one to you. Anyways, so Eddie, like I said, he's a brown belt under Omar. Figured we'll just kind of shoot the shit, talk about his journey to brown belt, and then we didn't talk much. I haven't talked much about it on here because Anthony didn't go, but we also did a trip in November to Scandinavia, to like Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. Basically, for me at least, it was all because of jiu-jitsu. So that
we would have never gone on. I mean, I bet you both of us could put money that we'd probably never go to those countries if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So it was cool, and well, we'll leave that until we get to that story. I promise you, there's a cool story there.
There's a bunch, actually.
Yeah, there was a lot of fun. There's a lot of inappropriate things that happened on that trip. They're
a lot,
good.
Actually. Like there's
quite a bit.
There's a lot that went on. Like I'm gonna have trouble recalling. I think all of it. So.
There was a lot of shit that happened. I was at a work thing today. And we were talking. I had to go to San Diego for a luncheon, and we were talking about that. And they were like, "Oh, they were talking about Sweden being nice." I was like, "Hell no!" I was like, "Sweden." Not that Sweden, if you're listening, not that Sweden is bad, but Sweden was the one country where I felt like I had to worry about my wallet a bit more.
Yeah, it's
than Norway or Denmark.
Norway was a shit. Norway
was my favorite. That place is dope. Anyways, so I've never even asked you. I don't even know your story, to be honest. So this is perfect. So as a brown belt,
origin story.
Yeah, like well, first of all, how long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
I think I'm going on like 6 years now.
Okay, so about 6 years.
Yeah.
And then what got you into it? Like what led you to jiu-jitsu? Because there's tons of other martial arts.
I've done martial arts just about most of my life, doing some form of martial arts. And then the times when I skipped martial arts, I got really into like firearms training and force on force training and stuff like that. So the way it started was I used to get bullied a lot, like in middle school. Like I used to get my ass beat. Like my teeth are literally chipped because from people just beating my ass, like in middle school. And it got so, and the reason why kids were brutal in middle school. So parents, if you're listening, this is totally fucked up that kids do this. But if you don't have your kids in like nice clothes, they will talk some major shit on you. So like my mom got all my clothes from like the clearance section at Mervin's, and I remember like it was like 6th or 7th grade. She got me, remember the pump LA gears?
Yeah.
So I had those, right? And those were cool, except mine were white, purple, and pink. And then it came with like 3 laces. So you're probably only supposed to tie like one set of laces.
You have all 3 on there.
But like like all three, dude. It was like ruffles like on my shoes, and it was bad. And then my mom, so my mom's Puerto Rican, she wouldn't let me have like baggy clothes, and she wouldn't let me wear flannel. So like at that age,
You
that was
can
like
wear any of the cool shit.
no. So like
basically.
everybody had like baggy clothes, or if you weren't wearing baggy clothes, you were wearing flannels because it was like the whole grunge thing was in right then. So the reason why she wouldn't let me wear baggy clothes or flannels is she said I would look like a cholo. So instead, like about sixth grade or fifth, sixth grade, I think about that time, they had like those MC Hammer pants, like those were in style. Except my mom wouldn't let me have baggy clothes, so those MC Hammer pants were more like yoga pants on me. like you could see the crack up my ass and shit. They were so tight.
I'd probably make fun of you,
dude. I mean, it was rough, dude. I was like, so it got like this is like oh poor me, but it got so bad. Like I was literally fighting, not really even fighting, like just getting beat up. I would go because I brought my lunch every day. I would go in the bathroom and eat my lunch.
Oh damn!
Just to hide from people. And
the kids are brutal, man. It's definitely and it's still ongoing. Like you still see it, you know, bullying and all that shit. It's still an ongoing thing. So that led you into martial arts or like wanting to.
So what happened was I just kept fucking getting my ass beat, and finally the principal had a meeting with because I would never rat anybody out because. Not because I gave a shit, but it was just because I knew I'd get it worse if I ratted them out. So the principal had a meeting with my parents, and they were like, look, I don't know what to tell you. He's got to start fighting back or something. Yeah. He won't rat anybody out. So my parents put me in karate, and I didn't really learn a damn thing in there, but I think it gave me like
self-confidence,
kind of like the dumb courage. So then I started fighting. So, like, my first fight was with this, like, really fat girl. I was getting off.
God, he said a fat girl. You fought a girl. Okay.
Dude, yeah, seriously. That's, like, how it started. So, like, I was getting off the bus, and this bitch just pushes me. And, you know, like, the bus had, like, really high stairs.
Yeah.
I fall, like, 6 feet off the bus, right? And I'm in the dirt. And everybody's, like, laughing. And I look back, the fucking bus driver's laughing. Like, nobody gave a fuck. And, like, a couple weeks before, this bitch had broken my glasses in half. So, like, she probably wanted to fuck. That's probably why she was.
Hey, that's what they mean to you. That's what my mom always told me. If a girl hits you, it's because she likes you.
Well, this girl used to hit me a lot, and I would never do anything about it. I was a little bitch. So I remember like it was just like in a movie. I'm just sitting there. I'm like people are laughing. Everybody's laughing. I'm in the dirt, and then I'm about to get up out of the dirt, and she fucking pushes me back down in the dirt. So I fucking grabbed like a handful of like this loose dirt and sand, and like fucking threw it in her eyes. I got up and threw it in her eyes. And then just pinned her against the bus and just like went to town, started beating the fuck out of her. And then the bus driver like snatched me off. And then all of a sudden I see her big ass fucking like 20-something-year-old cousins like coming after me. I just fucking ran home and then I couldn't ride the bus anymore because I was going to get my ass.
That was the end of the bus ride.
So my parents had me in karate for a little while. And then I pretty much did that through middle school. I don't even remember what belt I got to. And then high school, things got better because I joined sports. So I wasn't planning on getting into sports, but I once again started getting my ass beat at 9th grade on freshman Friday. And they tried to put me in the trash can. And what's fucked up is these 3 dudes that tried to put me in the trash can were like my fucking neighbors, like lived like 6 doors down. Like, dude, what the fuck? So I ended up like actually beating them down a little bit, and they never got me in the trash can. But they dropped me real hard at one point, and I cut my elbow up. So I had to walk to the nurse. And I remember during the fight, looking up to the right and seeing my the head football coach, like watching all this happen. So then he goes back downstairs where the nurse's office, where I'm at. And he's like, oh, what happened? And I was like, oh, I fell down. He's like, and I knew he had seen. He's like, oh, you fell down? And I was like, yeah. He's like, do you play football? And I was like, no. And like, I legit had no fucking idea how to play football. Like, I had Madden 94, and that's all I knew. Like, my parents never watched football. I didn't know shit about football. So he's like, do you play football? And I was like, no. He's like, well, you should. Why don't you try out for it? And I was like, okay. So I had to learn football like that year, and I ended up playing all through high school. But I am playing football, soccer, and track. So I got like friends through sports and stuff.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, and like you had like people watching your back, even though like, you know, I think I toughened up too, and like the bullying pretty much stopped. So then I didn't do much for a while. Life happened, and then I got into Taekwondo, and I did that for fucking, I don't know, like
Too long.
way too long, 3 or 4 years. Here, look it. This is controversial. I'm gonna say it right now. Parents, do not put your kids in Taekwondo.
No.
It's 100% bullshit. It's a money scam. It's better than nothing, but it's dumb. Like, I don't remember half of it.
I think there's some legit kick.
How come on the
techniques.
first day they teach you horse stance like this?
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
gonna kick you in your dick.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a big, like, there's some legitimacy to it in an extent.
If
Like,
you're only fighting another Taekwondo person,
well, if you
I
look
guess.
at Joe Rogan, he used to fight Taekwondo and he was knocking people out. And then if you look at, like, he was teaching
That's
St.
true.
Pierre spinning back kick. Like, so there is some techniques to it that are legit. But I mean, a lot of
my daughter was 9 years old with a black belt.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I think there's like, out of all the martial arts, there's like little pieces of it that are actually significant, or actual use in striking. But it's so hard, and there's so many McDojos now. They turned it into like it's kind of soft, and
And I remember. And I could never kick high, and always thought like you should be able to kick high. And I remember there was one guy who was a black belt, and he was like 400 pounds, and the dude could barely kick over his giant belly. And it's like, and he has a black belt. It's like, I guess you got to do with what you got, but
yeah. I mean, I was just watching a thing on Butterbean, and he was fucking people up, and he was almost 400 pounds.
Yeah, but that dude's a gangster who can throw hands.
He was throwing hands. Yeah, he was throwing hands.
He's over there knocking out Johnny Knoxville and shit.
He was throwing hands.
But so I did that for a while, and then my I guess he would be called your sensei or your master. His name was Master Lee. He left to go back east and for some family stuff, so I had nobody to train with, and I took a break from that for a while, and then I started my company, and it's called Tactical Outfitters, and I knew nothing about being tactical, like in the way, which is like, I remember I started this company.
I love it. He's like, I had no idea.
Yeah, seriously, I didn't know, because I was a firefighter for like 10 years, and I didn't know, I knew kind of how to be a firefighter. I wasn't even a fucking bad firefighter, but I got into guns and stuff, and I was like, I want to start this company called Tactical Outfitters. So I did, and I went out and bought gear, and I was selling it online and stuff, and I would post videos. I was like one of the first people on Instagram, like almost like the first month it came out, and I would post videos, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, it was embarrassing. Like, it was just.
Are you still up?
Hell no! I deleted that. I deleted that.
I was like, hold on.
A couple years ago, I went through it. I was like, oh hell no! I deleted all the cringe stuff.
Yeah.
But so like people, it's just been an ongoing thing of bullying. So like, so people were like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
And I was heavy too. I was like, at my heaviest, I was like 3 something. So I'm running around with with tactical gear and like trying to shoot, and it's just like no training. I had no training yet. It was embarrassing. So people like fucking calling me out, like, how the fuck are you gonna be tactical?
As they should have.
Yeah. Because my body just didn't know any better. So I was like, fuck, they're right. So I invested. Like, I went into tactical training. Started finding like all these companies that do like fucking crazy training. So I got into like night vision and long range shooting and fucking, close quarter combat. Like anything, like probably, I don't know, over probably something like $50,000 I spent over, 10 years getting into training. And I still do it a lot. So then I got really good at running a gun, and I got really good at tactics and everything like that. And I would post those videos. And then motherfuckers would talk shit, be like, that's cool, you can do all this, but I bet you can't fucking run a mile.
Oh my God.
And they were right. I fucking couldn't run a mile. So I was like, God fucking damn it. Like, it never fucking ends. Like, whole goddamn life is just one series of bullying, So then I fucking got my ass on the treadmill, fucking got to the point where, so at that, like, that was right at the point where I started working out a little bit, started losing weight. And then I got my son into jiu-jitsu, the reason I got him into jiu-jitsu is because that little shit was getting fucking bullied at school too.
Mhm.
So I was like, fuck this shit. You're not gonna,
Dude,
you're not gonna
yeah,
go down
you
the
wanna
road
make
I
it-
went
yeah,
to.
Yeah.
So I got him into
That's good.
jiu-jitsu, and I secretly wanted to do jiu-jitsu myself, but I was like, kind of like
fat, out of
shy.
shape.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, and not that, like, I knew I needed it. Like, I knew I could learn how to, fight much better, but I just didn't. I needed something to push me over.
Yeah.
And then so I asked Omar because Hunter wasn't getting like.
So you started there at Omar's.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I kind of I was at this gym in Temecula. I don't remember what it's called for like a week or two, and all I did was get my ass kicked. Like they weren't even teaching me anything. It was just like
You were the dummy.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
like so. I did like a week there, and I was like, fuck this. So, my son was having like he wasn't enjoying it maybe as much as we were hoping he would.
Mhm.
So I asked Omar, I was like, hey, what can I do to get him more motivated to do
I'm
this?
sure he was like, you joined.
Yeah, and he was like, well, why don't you join? And I was like, really, I was like, okay, but in reality, I was like, fuck yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
I just needed something to push me over.
Yeah.
So I signed up and then just got fucking addicted. Like it's, and I don't have like an addictive personality, I don't think, but like jiu-jitsu, I'm like fucking addicted to it. Like I don't care if I get choked out. I don't care how many times I lose. I just love to keep going.
Yeah.
Like the biggest thing that scares me is just getting hurt. And because I just don't want to stop doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like I can care less if I win or lose. I just really like
to be in the longevity of it.
yeah, and it's
continue
just
to
like
do
it's just like football. Like I don't really care too much about the sport of football, and even in soccer, I didn't really care too much for soccer. I just love like the very physical aspect of it and like hitting people. Like I love getting out that aggression and stuff. And so it's been about 6 years or so. And then like people stop talking shit. Finally online, like I can run I'm a little over 200 pounds and I'm 220, not a little 220. I can run pretty close to a 7-minute mile, and
you have all your tactical training and now you're a fucking brown belt. It's like, shut the fuck up.
yeah, but so then I learned I'm still not all that cool because then I joined Muay Thai a couple months ago and realized that as much as I thought I could throw hands, I fucking can't throw hands. And girls over there, like this morning, a girl fucked me up. So like it's like I'm getting, it's very humbling. It's actually really cool to be a white belt in something, even though they don't do belts. They kind of have a ranking system, but it's cool to be new and like it's like a whole new world. And it kind of like.
Well, I think it's cool that you just could like continue to try to make yourself better and improve yourself, and then just get better over time. Whatever it is, it seems like you've just constantly been like, all right, how do I get better?
Maybe bullying's good.
Maybe it can be.
Fucking
It
like,
can be. Maybe it can.
Strickland always says you should fucking bully people. So.
It does. And I mean, I'll say there's a time.
I'm endorsing all the children right now to fuck up other middle school children like it did to me. Look what it's done for me.
Yeah, but I mean, it might in some cases. Hey, like sometimes you need that push to like, maybe I am a fat piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I fucking need to, you know, maybe they're not lying.
Honestly, if it wasn't for probably that bullying, I'd probably when I started jiu-jitsu, I was about 310 pounds.
God damn.
Yeah, and it was just.
I mean, I was heavy too. I was like
being happy and being married and fucking.
Yeah, you just
eating California burritos.
Those are quite delicious.
Yeah, they're fucking bomb.
Yeah,
but it's. I don't know. I don't really learn very well like just reading something. But if you can put something in my hands or show me how to do something, like I love learning that way.
Yeah,
and it's been.
I think the cool thing. So you got your brown belt in November, and then the story behind that I thought was fucking cool because I mean I
wasn't expecting.
I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening. So I was just as shocked to fucking have it happen. So, well, I'll let you fucking kind of tell it.
Well, do you want to tell about that instance, or you want to start like with the beginning of like our trip and kind of go from there?
Yeah, I guess we can start the trip. So in
November 15th we left. We stayed from November 15th.
But before that, like months before that, there was a conversation for us, our Professor Omar, to go and do some seminars overseas, and then I think you guys were already involved in it, and then he asked me and my wife. He's like, "Hey, do you guys want to go do seminars?"
There was a lot of people that originally were going to go.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Fuck it," and me and my wife talked about it, and I was like, "Why not?" Like,
Do you know the whole reason why we like went to Scandinavia in the first place? It wasn't because of that. It had nothing to do
with the seminar?
with the seminar at all. The whole reason why we went to Scandinavia is because Omar got obsessed with the Viking television series. Like, he fucking watched that shit like 3 times in a row, like the whole damn series, and like was obsessed. So like that's the whole. It wasn't because jiu-jitsu brought us to Scandinavia. It was because of Viking television show that Omar loved, and that's why we went to Scandinavia.
So we planned it months. We spent like a few weekends. That was a struggle, just getting the planning done.
Yeah, because we always
get
end up drinking every damn night, and then we don't get anything planned.
Yeah. So we planned it, and so we left in November to Oslo, Norway.
Yeah.
So the whole trip was we flew to Oslo, Norway, and then from Oslo we went to Tromsø. From Tromsø we went to Copenhagen. Copenhagen, and then we went to Roskilde. And then from Roskilde, that was in
we had
Denmark.
Malmo in there too.
Yeah, that was Denmark. And then we took the train to Malmo, which is in Sweden.
Yes.
Sweden.
Which I besides getting a tattoo, I don't even know why.
I don't know. That's what we did. We got tattooed. We got tattoos.
Show a picture. Where's our matching tattoo?
Yeah. So I don't know. You can see here, and he's got his leg. Yeah.
This is gonna be your post.
Yeah.
Your one shot.
Oh yeah. It's like yeah, we ended up going. We wanted to get I already wanted a tattoo. The girls wanted tattoos, and we were like, "This is just like cool to get a tattoo."
I feel like Omar still owes us this tattoo on him.
He does. He was gonna get it on his
neck.
He said
he was gonna get it on his neck. Yeah. I'm gonna hold him to that shit.
And so when we went to Malmo, we were like, "Let's." We found this place, and they found this chick with horns.
Oh yeah,
like this Viking chick with
it smelled like ass.
It did stink, and she had like
smelled like patchouli oil and like.
She was super cool, but she had like horns on her head and like straight
she had
up
like
Viking,
horn implants,
and
then she had like all these Viking tattoos, and it was like hella goth.
Yeah,
she was cool as fuck.
Yeah, she was super cool. But I was also in the middle. Like I felt like we traveled like somewhere we didn't belong. There was nothing there. It was just like housing.
Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't a touristy place. At all. No.
Yeah, and so during this whole trip, I mean, we did a bunch of. A lot of fun shit.
Where do we try to get tattoos first? Was it Tromsø that we
walked
into that place and they just take off our shoes?
Yeah, and then they basically were like, "Get the fuck out!"
Yeah,
like they were like, "No."
Yeah, those guys were kind of snobbed. But would you say out of everywhere we went, would you say
I would go back to Tromsø.
I think Tromsø was my absolute. If I had to after the trip, I looked at Norway and I was like, "Fuck, I could retire here." Like,
it's beautiful there.
It's fucking
yeah.
There's when we did like this much of the activities, like. We should have spent like a whole week.
I think so. I agree. Like Tromsø was beautiful. Yeah, it was cold as fuck.
But we were all. I think we were all dressed pretty well. Like
I
think we prepared for it really well.
But it was beautiful there.
It was amazing. I never felt unsafe. No
matter what time. Denmark felt safe too.
Yeah. Sweden,
but it was more expensive.
In the public transit, that was the only place where like I was like, okay, hand on your wall.
Well, once you got to that one city, what was it called in Sweden? Where we kept going to with all the buildings, it looked like fucking
Stockholm.
Yeah, but in Stockholm,
I know what you're talking about, like the Harry Potter.
It looked like Harry Potter, like city, whatever. That was
I felt fine there.
Yeah, that place was awesome. Yeah. So on this trip,
why did we go to Malmo though? Besides tattoos,
I think we were just trying to find. It was just like
because we wasted so much time traveling.
Yeah,
we should have just like spent more time.
It was just a matter of like finding a place. I don't even remember how Malmo came up. I think there was a museum there.
I think we were probably drunk. Because we never even went to a museum in Malmo, did we? Or
no?
Yeah,
I think we just went shopping and went and got tattoos.
Yeah,
and that was it. That was the whole time.
And then little Omar he got his tattoo. No, he got his tattoo in Sweden.
In Sweden, yeah.
That took like hours.
But we did go in Denmark to a school. Morton and
it's Spring Jiu-Jitsu.
Spring Jiu-Jitsu. If you're over there, go check them out. They're
just
in a new gym.
Big ass.
They're in a new place.
I think I just seen it on Instagram.
Yeah,
it's like,
really cool.
Nice.
Really cool place. That was a cool experience. But Omar did a seminar there, what we got to help with, and then
And then out of nowhere, he pulls out this brown belt, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I totally wasn't expecting it at all. Like that was
crazy,
mind blown, and it was kind of, I don't know if I think he had it planned, but it meant a lot because like that trip kind of started off kind of fucked up because while we were gone, my dog died.
Yeah.
That I've had for like 12 years. So like we were already like trying to put that in the back of our head. Because that happened, like we got a call in the middle of the night. Yeah, we got a call in the middle of the night saying your dog's dead. So while we were in
and then you couldn't tell your kid.
Norway, yeah. And I had to keep it quiet from him for 2 weeks. I told him on the way home from LAX.
Yeah.
And
you also got vomited on the way home.
Oh yeah, I'll tell that too. But
yeah, that's a rough way to start.
Yeah, dude. And I did, like every now and then it would pop in my head, and I'd be like, "Fuck!" I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna let that happen right now." Like, throw that back there and like try to stay.
Bury that with all the other fucking bullying.
All the years of trauma. Get back there, motherfucker.
he put it behind. He put it behind.
You
that
ain't the
girl.
first, so you ain't gonna be the last. Get the fuck back there.
That memory sat right behind the little girl pushing him down the fucking bus. He's like, I'm just gonna put that right there.
I still got the grit in my teeth, bitch.
Yeah. And yeah, so we're doing the seminar, and then out of nowhere he's like, you fucking pulled out the brown belt. I was like, oh shit.
And what's crazy is he told me that he couldn't find I think he said he decided to do it right before we left for the trip, but he couldn't find a brown belt that quick.
Morton got it or something.
Yeah, so like I'm like an M3 or whatever it's called.
A3,
yeah. And he couldn't get one in time, so Morton actually found one down there. And which is kind of cool. It's got like the Brazilian flag on it, and
you got whipped twice because you got whipped by a bunch of people you didn't know.
Yeah.
Who were more than happy to give it to you.
And we
I was in there like, give it to him harder. He liked it harder.
I hate to tell the guys at Spring Jiu-Jitsu, but America's definitely got you beat when it comes to the whipping. Like you guys got to really put your back into it.
Yeah, I was in there like, he likes it harder. Yeah. Make it hurt.
It did. It was easy. I don't know if maybe if they were kind of being nice.
Probably. You know? That's probably what it is.
But they were super cool.
And they may not even do that. I don't know.
But they you could tell they're like super excited about jiu-jitsu. Like like they have a passion for it. Like, and I mean, you could tell like it was like big time for them.
For him to be there.
Yeah. Like they really it was Morton and then his other instructor. Martin. That's right. That's easy to remember. Morton. And those two were just like,
dude, Martin has got go.
And that guy
he's got energy.
Yeah. If he's ever in California, you need to get you should get both of them, but you need to get Martin on too.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
He seems like he has a backstory.
Yeah.
He's got a crazy backstory. That guy likes to fight.
So then he got his brown belt there, and then we also the next day
I
almost bitched out of it.
Celebratory dinner of
we tried so it's so weird because everything closes early there, and so like you right now it's like, what time is it? It's like 6 something here. Most of the restaurants are starting to close there by this time.
8, 9 o'clock. There's
done.
Nothing.
Like, there's no food. Yeah. Like, and you go look, and it says everything's open. You show up, and it's just alcohol. That's all they serve.
The bar. So like they say they're open till like 10.
Yeah.
But that means the bar is open from like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
And the kitchen closes.
Yeah. And so we went to try to get like a celebratory dinner, and all the restaurants were fucking closed.
We walked a long ass way too. We like walked all around.
Yeah, because we were like, oh, there's some good restaurants. Let's have a good restaurant. We'll go have a good fucking celebrate. And everything was closed. And we ended up at a McDonald's. Yeah. In fucking.
It wasn't the worst, but it was McDonald's. Yeah. It was either that or like Circle K or something.
Yeah, it was Circle K.
Which the Circle Ks are not like America Circle Ks.
They're pretty nice.
Yeah, they're bougie and actually have decent food compared. Like the United States, like don't eat at a Circle K, but in Scandinavia,
they were nice.
Yeah,
but so we went to I forgot about that. We went to the McDonald's for the celebratory.
What do you think was the best meal we had there?
The best meal was that Viking place.
I think that was probably the best food and best like dinner experience.
And that drink
they
had
glog.
Not the glog. Grog.
Glog was the wine that
grog was that other one that was like really delicious.
So I learned that making grog like that, it is elderflower lemonade and
Dude, that stuff was probably the best.
And,
I
like,
was like, I could drink a
Peach
pitcher.
vodka, I think.
I could drink like a pitcher of that.
Yeah,
It was so
it
good.
was
Um,
dangerously good.
And then we did the sauna and the ice water thing.
Yeah.
We jumped in the freezing lake, and that was pretty cool. That was an experience because that hurt. That the way the pain.
Here's my impression of Omar.
Yeah.
So what they do is like you're sitting there and the thing gets up to like 220 degrees,
Yeah.
so it gets freaking hot.
The way it goes is you go into the sauna the first time,
Mhm.
and they bring it up to whatever temperature, and then while you're in there, they like put like you go in 3 times. You go in the sauna 3 times, and you jump in the water 3 times, and in between you take a break. But every time you go in, they put like sage or like orange pills
Yeah, it's
or like
supposed to be
different
like a cleansing.
yeah, like different things on there.
experience.
You're not supposed to talk. You're supposed to stay fucking quiet. And then like in the midst of this sauna thing, he has like this fan.
Like a giant fan.
And he
a
starts-
towel. where
Yeah,
it's just like,
and he starts whipping that shit. And as soon as he whips it, it's like fire.
It
on
feels
your
like
skin.
the heat's cutting you.
Yeah, it feels like
Yeah.
like glass shards.
Yeah.
Just like it hurts. Your lips hurt. Everything hurts.
Yeah. You can't even take deep breaths in there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
the whole
it's hard
time
to
I was
breathe.
like taking shallow nose.
Yeah, you're trying to breathe and
I was
find
just
the
like this
gas.
because if you breathe it in with your mouth, it like burns your throat.
Yeah, and then Omar was
Here's Omar. Omar's like they would do the fan or the whip, and he'd be like, "Hey!" And it's supposed to be quiet, and everybody's
he's like puta de madre, güey.
he's cursing and shit.
And the dude's like shh, and he keeps telling him to be quiet the whole time. Yeah, and then you get out, and then you go jump in the water.
39-degree water.
Yeah, and then you go into the room, and like they serve like pretzels, like salt, peanuts, and water.
I didn't realize that till like the second time. I was like, "Oh, they're giving us salt."
Yeah,
to, like,
so you can
replenish it.
yeah. And so then you go back in again, and they raise the temperature again, a little higher, and then they put a different like sage or whatever. They just keep switching out the aromas in there, and it just gets hotter and hotter. And then you go do the water again, then you come back out, and then you do it again. But that third time before we
Fucking
went
hot.
in, he said, "Are you ready for hell?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Excuse me?" I was like, "What? What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, it's gonna be hot." And I was like, "What?
And then we all try to be tough guys and
Yeah.
sit on the top
So
rung
then-
where
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the most hot.
So then they have these little stools, and then all the girls started like putting there's a one guy that I guess goes there frequently.
Yeah,
he
he
put the
was-
stool on top of the bench and then sits higher, so it's even fucking hotter up there.
Yeah.
And then the girls started doing it, and then
We didn't
and then
want to look like little bitches.
Martin did it,
Yeah.
and then I was like, "Fuck it!" So I go out there. Wow, all I
It
can
was
say,
way worse.
that was way worse. So much more intense.
At the last one, you had to like get in your own head and be like, "Okay, it's not that bad. It's not that."
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. You had to. It was a mental. There was for sure a whole mental aspect to.
At the very end there, like when everybody else started going down, it got hard to breathe. Like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just it was
painful.
it was too hard. Like the air wasn't. It didn't feel like after he did like the wave thing with the heat. I felt like I couldn't get the air in, so I was like, "Oh, I'm sitting down." Fuck
Yeah,
this shit.
yeah, that was rough. But afterwards, it was like the whole day. The rest of the day, I felt like calm, relaxed.
I felt like any inflammation
So
I
I
had
do that
from
here.
walking.
I do that here.
Yeah,
Me and
that's what you said.
Misa comes over on Sunday, usually Sundays, and we'll do the sauna, and we'll do 20 minutes in the sauna. Then we'll go do 3 minutes in my pool because it's not heated. And it's
Mhm.
fucking freezing. It's
Yeah,
like 40
mine's cold,
degrees. And then we'll sit outside for a little bit, warm up, and then jump. We do it 3 times, and I feel the difference. Like the rest of the day feels like super good, and then your body
It's supposed to be really
feels-
good for inflammation.
Yeah, yeah. My
we were
body like the
walking
next
so
day, I
much.
feel good. Yeah, and that's the thing is like,
We were walking like 10 miles a day.
dude, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of walking. My feet were killing me.
And I felt like after that, and it was kind of cool because it was in the middle of the trip. It kind of felt like
A little break in your
like
body.
a break, yeah, but also kind of like rejuvenated you for like the
Mhm.
rest of the trip. Like I felt like my muscles didn't feel as tight because a lot of times too we're wearing backpacks. And you're wearing a backpack full of crap
day.
for 10 miles, you
Yeah.
know. And
Walking through snow.
yeah, dude, and it definitely and wearing like a lot of extra clothes. I definitely felt like it, like any kind of inflammation, it definitely helped with.
Yeah, yeah, that was a cool experience, and that's what we were saying about like, I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu. Like
No.
I had never even thought about it. Like Norway, none of that was even
I don't
on
think
my
I would have
mind
either. Like
ever.
maybe like Ireland or like places like that, like Greece, like. But I don't know that I would ever think to go to like maybe Sweden, but like I don't think I would think to go to Norway, and that's actually
where I like the most.
Yeah, what gave me
Yeah.
the biggest impression.
What I found interesting is when we went to Norway. Oslo was cool. It was really nice. It was
It's like
cool.
a clean,
like city, like a nice city.
like it kind of reminded me of New York a little bit, but also downtown San Diego.
Yeah,
but like super clean.
I was gonna say San Diego too,
super
but like
clean,
super clean.
safe.
Yeah, but when we went to Tromsø, it's near the Arctic Circle, a small like town that like if they lost power, everybody would die.
It'd be pitch black.
Yeah,
and you would freeze.
And everyone would die because it's so cold there. And place was awesome. And we go in to go see the
Northern Lights.
The Northern Lights. What I found interesting with the Northern Lights was that the guides are all immigrants.
Yeah.
None of the guides are like local or citizens of Norway.
And you'd think that'd be like something they'd be really proud of.
Yeah. But they don't want to be out in the cold, like because it's fucking cold.
But
like
they probably see it all the time. So
I thought we were dressed warm. And then, like after a minute, and then they brought out those big ass snowsuits, and those things.
We were wearing snow clothes already.
Yeah, and then we put it over.
Layers.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
and it wasn't enough.
Yeah, imagine like you have like I had like I mean it's not the fanciest, but I had like the Colombian Omni Heat stuff that was supposed to be under like
we had good gear.
40,
we had good snow gear.
Yeah, and in boots and everything, and I was still cold, and then they gave us theirs, and you put it over your snow, and you weren't hot. Like I never got hot. It was like perfect.
Suit. Yeah.
It was just perfect.
You had to have those. Like you couldn't not wear those. It was too cold.
And he was like, what was cool is like they would chase the. I didn't know it was like that, but they chased the Northern Lights a bit. Like they try to find. I guess they move and they try to find where they're going to get the best view. They chase them
and then they got to get away from the clouds.
Yeah, get away from clouds.
We had weather the entire time there, and that's why I was like,
and we almost drove to Finland. We were like 20 minutes
on the
from
border,
the Finland border. But then they take you out in the middle of this forest, basically, and it was. They set up like a campfire, and they had hot chocolate, and we had reindeer.
Hot chocolate, and then they're roasting your own reindeer sausage.
Yeah, those were amazing.
Cookies,
and then they would just
reindeer is actually really good.
They brought some real like it's interesting because the immigrants that they brought are not. They were like they're immigrants, they're not from there, but they were really smart people.
Oh yeah,
like one of them was like a scientist or something.
Yeah, they had like laptops, and they were actually following the weather as it hits. And then what's cool about one thing that I noticed with them is all the tour guides, all the different companies, they all work together.
Yeah.
So they don't. You'd think like in America, they'd be like, oh no, stay out of my area. Like don't be following us or whatever. But they all work together, and they all met up at the gas station at the same time. Oh fuck that gas station! And they all. I'll tell that story in a minute. They all like worked with each other. And they were texting each other and on the laptops and like, hey, where you going?
They're on the walkie-talkies.
Yeah, where can we go?
And they drive fast as fuck through.
They don't give a fuck.
Like that shit was crazy.
I
closed my eyes. I was like, this is too crazy.
It honest to God looked like it was
Star Wars.
From Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like you're going through this blizzard, and this fool's got it pinned. Like I think he had snow tires on, but no, they don't do chains out there.
Yeah,
and you see the white of the snow.
Like I couldn't see the road. I don't know how they could.
I don't know.
That was pretty crazy.
And then like semis would pass, like boom, and you're like, this guy's just like fucking pinned, fucking like 70 miles an hour down mountain roads, not giving up.
It was a comfy van though too. It was at least a good van, like a good Sprinter van.
I thought it would stink too, because like all
the water, like
but it wasn't bad.
No, it was a good time. But that place was, I think Tromsø was so beautiful. I felt like we should have spent more time there.
You definitely, and I think we should have gone to.
Because we could have done the whale watching.
Yep.
We could have then done the
dog sleds.
And
I think we should have gone to that city. Looking back, now that I looked it up online, we should have went to that city that Carol really wanted to go to.
Which one was it?
That was further up north a little bit.
From Tromsø?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
It was something I think with a B or something. And she really wanted to go to it. And now that I've looked it up afterwards, we should have went there. We spent too much time, I think, in Sweden. And we should have spent more time in Norway.
I agree. I liked Norway. It was beautiful. And then another thing, I did like the museums. Like, not all the museums, but some of the museums.
So Omar,
the rapey museum.
Omar was on a rampage. He wanted to see some museums. Yeah. And he took us to a museum that was basically full of dicks.
Yeah, it was very rapey as well. Like a lot of sexual overtone.
And there was like too many naked statues with naked men and naked kids too.
Like, that's what I'm saying. It was really rapey, and then
and here I am,
and like forcing women, like they were like grabbing a naked woman and like forcing her down, and I was like, whoa.
And here I am holding my son's hand, 10 years old, like I'm like, there goes another dick.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But the ones that I liked were like the Viking ones.
Oh yeah,
like the one in the big Viking ship, the fucking giant one.
That was that in Stockholm?
Vast. It was like Vast something.
Vast deference. No, that's what
It was like Vast something. I don't know, but it was like it was a big ass. Like they just had some really cool, like full on, like ships that were like reconstructed and rebuilt.
and then
the
that's
one
where we had dinner. We had dinner right there too, didn't we?
Yeah, down by the water
So
area or something like that.
they did that. What they did was they got a bunch of ships, and then they did that thing where they bring like the things to the bottom of the ocean. They suck out all the water, and then they like cleared out this whole area, and that's how they were picking up the pieces of the ship that had like
It's
shipwrecked.
beautiful ship.
Yeah, and they put it like all back together and stuff, and like with as much pieces as they could.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was the one that was the museum that mainly had like the skeletons of the ships. And then we saw that one that was fully reconstructed.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, that was.
But then the other one was really cool too, because those ones, those ships that we were talking about before,
they were much older.
They were used for blockading the port entry, so that they weren't attacked, and they can block who comes in and out of the waterways and stuff like that.
But you don't realize how big those fucking ships are.
They're huge.
Like, was it Stockholm that had that one? That like the really big ship.
That's one. Yeah, I think it's Stockholm.
So like you can't even
giant.
like, fathom. It's
insanely large, and the fact that it was built so far back,
and it was like technology. In really good. Like you could tell the parts that they had to remake, but there was a lot that like was original.
The amount of cannons on that thing, I was like, holy.
And most of those were original, and all like the decorative pieces, a lot of those were original. It's pictures. I think if you just saw a picture of this, it wouldn't do you justice. Like when you're walking up to it and like you're trying to take a picture of it, and you're like, I can't back up enough. Like it's I don't that. I'm glad we went to that one. Like we could have done without the penis museum.
Yeah, I agree.
But
then we would have missed like the kicking baby one.
Oh yeah, that one was kind of good. There's this one statue of a dude just like punting a baby.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a super famous statue.
Where everybody touches. What are you supposed to touch?
Oh, everyone was touching like the hand or something of the baby.
And we didn't.
And there was like a bunch of tourists. Like there's a bunch of tourists around us, and we're over there like cupping the balls of the when they're all we're like they're cupping the balls.
We're fitting right in with all the other rapey style.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, played a lot of Pokemon too.
There was a lot of Pokemon over there. Yeah, it was a good trip. I think. I don't know. I thought the fact that like. When you look back and think how jiu-jitsu kind of it maybe wasn't entirely a jiu-jitsu trip, but like it happened because of jiu-jitsu, and I thought that was cool because it kind of took us there. And that so for the tattoos, that was kind of the idea. We're trying to find something that like represented the culture
because it was supposed to be like a Viking related trip. Yeah, everything we were doing was kind of Viking related.
Yeah, so
I literally created that design like. Why we didn't really have a design.
I had a design idea, but then I was like, it was gonna take too long to like do it, and we had like 2 hours, I think, because everybody wanted tattoos. There was 4 of us, you, me, your wife, and my wife. We all wanted tattoos, so it's like we can't have a design that's gonna take 3 hours. And so we're trying to figure something out, and then you threw this together in the app, and I was like, oh, that works. That worked out really well.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it was a good fucking trip. But jiu-jitsu kind of took us there, and I think it was pretty fucking cool to experience that, and even go to a gym just go to a seminar in a gym in another country.
I kind of wish I would have liked to roll, but at the same time,
get injured while you're there.
Yeah, like that one's like that's a hard one.
We had a lot of trip left.
Yeah, like that's a hard one. Like I would have really liked to roll. And I think Morton and Martin wanted us all to roll too, but like
we had like a whole week and a half left still.
And you're still, and then you would be rolling with dudes who you don't normally roll with, so it's like they probably wouldn't be like competition style rolling, but you still never know, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so like I kind of really wanted to roll, but that's. When you still got that much of a trip. If it was at the end of the trip, I'd be like, fuck it, let's roll. I bust my ankle, I can still get on a plane.
Yeah, you still get on a plane.
But if I got to walk another week, 10 miles
that was the thing is the amount of walking we did. That would really be fucking brutal to try to walk.
We fucking walked all day in a goddamn IKEA. Like, I had never been in IKEA. Yeah. That was a big old
the first IKEA. That was the second biggest IKEA in the world.
Yeah.
And
those meatballs were bomb.
It was giant. It was big.
I was trying to walk some more, and you guys were like, "Nah, we're leaving. Let's get the fuck out of here."
You could spend all day there, man. There's so much shit to say. I'll say we also went to a museum. What's that, like, sciencey museum?
Oh yeah, the Museum of Technology.
That place was dope.
Was that in Stockholm?
I think so. Oh yeah, that was towards the
Yeah,
end of
we
our
spent
trip.
a lot. We went there for. I mean, granted, their days are shorter, but we were there from like almost sun up to sundown.
I was like the only one trying to drink everywhere. I was like, "Come on, let's drink." No one wanted to drink. I was like, "Come on."
I was really
vacation.
trying to like. I think I only gained like 3 pounds that trip. I was
didn't
really
gain that
trying
much.
not to gain weight.
I think the food quality there was different. It was kind of hard to gain weight there. And it's not like I was really hungry that much while we were there either. I don't remember being like
Well, because we
starving.
kind of were like constantly snacking. Like if we saw a little something, we would just eat it. Cause and you wouldn't feel bad because you were walking so much. But their food is like, I was expecting maybe to have like more
super carby. Like everything's bread.
Yeah.
Everything's bread. Everything is
Bread
bread and deer.
Yeah, and I was
Reindeer.
expecting like maybe they would have their own kind of dishes. It's pretty much American food, and it's kind of bland because they don't have all the
The ranch
chemicals and all
sucks.
this shit. Oh, the ranch is fucking disgusting. Ranch tastes like
The
doo-doo.
ranch sucks. Yeah.
But I would say, I mean, our food tastes better in my opinion, probably because it's unhealthier.
Yeah.
But I mean, the food wasn't bad. I didn't have a meal where I was like, this is gross or trash. Like there was.
So when we came back from that trip, you showed up as a brown belt. How did you get hard rolls? Did anyone come in and be like, okay, I'm gonna try to put it on you? Not anyone specific, but did it feel like maybe anyone, or did it just feel normal?
Yeah, it felt like honestly, I hate getting promoted, to be honest, every time because it feels like
You're not ready for it.
That is constantly a thing on my mind.
That's why I train so much. I
Yeah.
train so much because I feel like I'm not ready for whatever belt I'm at, and then I don't want to have.
I think you're always on the cusp of that. I think you're always like, I think you, unless like I was listening to your latest podcast with the dude from Texas,
Mhm.
and I think
Devin.
yeah, I think you're unless you're like him, where you're like just you've been like a belt for a very long
Yeah,
time.
he was a brown belt for a long time.
Yeah, I think in most situations you're gonna feel like, you know, maybe you're not ready. But and I kind of piss
It's good for you though.
Yeah.
I think.
because or else
What is it called? It's
what
imposter
if you
syndrome.
think you're better? What if you think you deserve it and you
Well,
fucking
it's not.
suck?
It's not only in jiu-jitsu. I mean, I think in general, I was reading a post on Reddit, and some guy was saying he's getting a new job. They doubled his salary. He's like, but I feel like I'm gonna get there, and they're gonna be like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, blah 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 blah. And someone was in the comment was like, someone in the comments. Sometimes you find gold in the comments, right? Someone in the comments mentioned they said, look, if you start a new job and you don't have a little bit of imposter syndrome, then you're in the wrong job.
Yeah,
You're not challenging
or
yourself.
just a hardcore narcissist.
yeah. So, I mean, I feel that way still, you know, and that's part of the reason why I try to train as often and as much as I can, because we have some monsters in our gym
Yeah,
that I feel like,
we
man, when I look at them, and I try not to like compare myself to people, but you see,
there's a lot of stuff going on too. Like I was really bad about that too, where I'd be like, okay, I feel like I should probably be better than at this, but I'm also 43 years old, and you know I've got previous injuries from like previous careers and stuff. So like
you're on your own path, yeah.
yeah, so you know
But
your
that's the hard
age,
part.
your body, and all that. And I think I kind of pissed off Omar. It might have been like from blue to purple or something. And he was like, I'm the professor. He was like, I know when you're ready.
Mhm.
And like, and in other words, he said, you know, he didn't even say it like this, but the way I look at it is, who are we to? I mean, the dude's like multiple world time champion. He's been doing jiu-jitsu almost as long as I've been alive. Like, who are we to say?
I'm not worthy of the belt.
Yeah, like you just
no, yeah,
you
I
gotta
agree.
you gotta
I think
listen
that's
to what
most
he
people.
says.
But I think most people see that's the case, you know, and so it's just hard to tell yourself that you're worthy of.
And there's always gonna be people better than you, and where you will really, excel, or where it starts to seem legit is when you go up against a white belt and it's just like this is a baby. This is a child.
I had a conversation. So, so I competed before this one. I just competed this last weekend, and I was rolling with a couple white belts leading up to this, and I was like, I'm fucking trying to compete, so I went fucking hard on them, fucking, and normally I don't, and I did the last few times, and then yesterday he came up to me and he was like talking to me and asking me some things because I took his
This was the white belt.
yeah, and I like took his back and flattened him out and was like, and so he was asking me questions because
that's the best thing.
Well,
if
he was
you're a
saying
white belt, fucking survive and learn.
Yeah, he was saying someone else was giving him conflicting information about what to do, and I was like, "Don't ever fucking do that." And so we had a conversation, and then he was just talking about learning, and like he tries to just as long as he feels like he learns something every day, something that he's happy. But it was hard, and I was just telling him, I'm like, "Look, the first fucking 6 months of being a white belt is fucking brutal.
Yeah, just survive.
Even white belt in general is fucking brutal." And I'm like, what's gonna happen is you're in. I was like, we're all in this together, and everyone's evolving together.
Yeah.
You're in this class of white belts that started together, and you're not gonna feel like you're getting better because they're getting better. Then you're trying to survive with higher belts, blue belts, and purple belts, and and they're getting better. So you think,
and there may become a point too where they'll just excel over.
Yeah,
too.
they
like
might
that's
just
what happened
excel.
with Ishmael with me. Is like I used to take him down and everything, and now I don't got shit on him. Like
he's a monster.
Yeah, his like fireman carry
Dude,
scares
crazy.
the fuck out of me.
He
like
threw me the other day. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, so we were, I was in front of him, and it went like something like this, like
You just like ran
So
through
it happens. You
Yeah,
know?
and what I was explaining to him, like, hey, everyone's growing, so it's gonna be hard to judge.
Not everybody goes at the same speed.
Yeah, but it's gonna be hard. Like you're never gonna feel like I'm good. And then I'm like, and one day, some new guy's gonna show up, and you're gonna roll with him. If it hasn't happened yet, I was like, some new guy's gonna come in here, and you're gonna roll with him, and you're gonna be like, oh fuck.
I can't wait for that day in Muay Thai.
You're like,
right now I'm just getting fucked up.
You're like, this shit fucking works. You know what I mean? You're like, and then it's exactly what you said. When a new person comes in, it literally feels.
Well, because
like a grown man feels like a child.
Every day we're going against people who know exactly how to defend.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you're stalemating constantly. So it's like,
and then that it gets harder to get better because now you're trying to make little adjustments on. He knows this. How do I start
like implementing like
setups
and stuff. You know, like
exactly.
There's a class that I want to take called he's down in Escondido a couple times a year. It's called Rogue Methods, and what he'll do is, and I kind of want to do this at our own gym too, like because we have a lot of cops that go there, and I kind of would like to do. I think Gabe would probably be good at teaching this too, like weapon retention and stuff. So guys that are wearing holsters, but what they do at this class in Rogue Methods is they just throw like they'll put you kind of like in a clinch, and then they'll just throw a fucking gun in the middle.
I've seen this,
dude. I fucking want to do that so bad. Like every time a class comes up, I'm like traveling and stuff, but like I want to like I don't want, and I don't.
I have seen videos.
I want to go in and tell them I don't know, no. I don't want to I don't want them to ask me if I know jiu-jitsu or anything because then I'm gonna be honest. But if they don't ask, I just want to fucking and then get on the ground, sweep them, and be like, oh, this is the greatest day ever. Because
you're like, pop, pop, bitch.
I did use jiu-jitsu one time in one class that I took, and it was like this crazy austere medical class, and I ended up wrestling a guy for a revolver, and he was like behind a car, and I was checking on him. It's supposed to be like this crazy medical scenario, and I was checking on him, and all of a sudden he draws a pistol. So then I start fighting him for it, and I fucking at the same time I like armbarred him and wrist locked and snatched it away, and then put it right up to his face, and I was like, fuck, that was. I remember telling Omar, I was like, I fucking used it a little bit, like it works, and that was like as like an early blue belt, and I was like, holy fuck, like it's. I think most people will probably never get a chance to really try their jiu-jitsu in the street, and which is.
It's good.
I don't want, which is good, but it's kind of also a shame because like this shit is so fucking effective. Like being able to control somebody on the ground is fucking.
It's wizardry.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, that's the thing. That's what they say. Like people like think Joe Rogan talks about like his first experience in that, like, and just being like, what the fuck?
It's
Like,
super
how
humbling,
how can I not do anything and
Yeah.
this guy could do whatever?
Dudes look like total nerds and they just fucking beat
Like
your ass.
Mikey Musumeci,
Yeah.
fucking great example. Yeah. I was watching the guy that just Sean Strickland. I don't know, you know who Sean Strickland
Sneeko.
is. Yeah, Sean Strickland beat him. Well, he went and fucking rolled with Nate Diaz.
Oh, really?
And Nate Diaz armbarred him.
Oh.
He didn't just armbar him. He grabbed him in the armbar, and then he grabbed his hand, and he came up, and then he was like just wrist locked him, like straight up, just like boom, right there. And I was like, oh,
Nothing
God,
popped
man.
or snapped?
Yeah, it didn't look like it, but I was
Fuck.
like, fuck. I was
He's
like,
he's got a death wish. I mean, at least he's surviving. He didn't fall down with Strickland. He didn't get knocked out. I don't know if Strickland was going 100% either, but
he was going hard on him. I kind of was hoping he would.
I wouldn't do
him
that
out.
shit, dude. You have a
You're
TBI.
stupid.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
No headgear, nothing.
Chael Sonnen posted a video talking about it, and he was like, "Look," he was talking about his wrestling. Chael Sonnen was saying like, when he was wrestling, there was always that like, his coach was like, "Oh yeah, everyone be nice to each other. If a new person comes up to you and asks you questions, and you're the senior guy, you fucking better help him. You better blah blah." But then he was like, "There's always that one guy you just don't fuck with," and the coach says, "Don't fuck with him. Don't play with him because he's not to be fucking played with. He doesn't play." And he's like, that's Sean Strickland. He doesn't have a fucking. He doesn't. It's either on or off. Like he doesn't have in between. There's no. And he's like, and you're gonna learn a lesson if you go out there and you try to challenge Sean Strickland. He's gonna fuck you up. Like that's all he knows. Like he doesn't have an on and off. It's like he doesn't have like a middle. It's like it's either on or it's off. And like you watch that video, and the whole time he's like, "Oh God, did you watch it?" He was like, he was like, "Oh, it's not how you thought it was gonna go, did you?"
I read the comments, and everybody's like, "He fucking turned into a supervillain."
Bro, he did. He was like, the way he was talking shit to him the whole time. He was like, "This is not how you thought it was gonna go, did you?"
Yeah.
He's like, "How does it feel knowing you can't hurt me?"
He was just like catching every punch, and he was just like fucking. Wasn't even stopping, and then you could tell
he tagged him once.
He tagged him once, and he was like, "Oh,
yeah." He was like, "How does it feel knowing that you
his
can't
social
hurt
media
me?"
is so good.
Yeah, and he just fucking wrecked him. I know you don't watch a lot of matches, but I just Anthony's not here, so I'll bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
Nicky Rod just fought Victor Hugo, and I watched that match, and I watched Nicky Rod struggle to pass Victor Hugo's guard, his half guard. I think one time he got past it, but Victor Hugo from bottom was able to just effortlessly, it seemed like, just retain his guard, go for like ankle locks or go for like submissions from the bottom. It's fucking mind blowing. I'll say I know jiu-jitsu, right? And it's mind blowing to see someone at that level
Struggle to get out of guard.
Struggle to get past someone's guard, but two, the fact that he can retain his guard and it looked effortless. Like when I know how fucking hard it is to keep someone from passing, and he was just making
just
it
little
look
movements
easy.
And strength.
Yeah,
just
and then I went back and I was like, I know Victor Hugo fought Gordon, so I went and found that one, and I watched Gordon fight Victor Hugo. 100% different. Gordon was like, boop boop, passed his guard, got to mount, was like, did whatever the fuck he wanted, and I was like, and that's when I was like, man, there's fucking levels to this shit, because everyone. There was a UFC fighter, I forgot his name. He's a black belt, and he was on some podcast, and he was talking about the guys on the podcast rolled him, and he was like, man, they were like, yeah, you're a good black belt, and he was like, I know, he's like, I'm a good black belt, and then he goes, but I rolled with Nicky Rod, and he's like in like a 5 or 10 minute round, he's like, there was not one fucking time that I was in a fucking not even neutral, but in any good position. It's like I wasn't even in a neutral position with him. And he was talking about how good Nicky Rod was, and the fact that he's a good black belt, but then Nicky Rod just fucked him up. And then he goes, and then he did that to me, and then I watched Gordon Ryan fucking fight Nicky Rod and fucking just
a whole nother
like,
level.
And he's like, my brain doesn't fucking understand. Like I can't physically understand how he did that to me, and then he did that to him. Like it just doesn't make sense at the level of the gap and skill.
Gifted with these superhuman,
and it's only going to get better.
I think sometimes people find like maybe the sayings everybody has like their one kind of natural talent, whether it be like some, maybe they're really good at music or whatever. Like I think he found the thing that he just like, you just excel like
Well, it's not
with
just,
a ton of hard work.
Yeah, I was gonna
no
say
doubt,
it's got to be a lot of hard work
but
too.
he's just like he's a fucking master at it, and
When we were at this tournament, I met this guy. Let me find his name.
how long ago did you compete?
Saturday.
Saturday.
This Saturday, yeah. So
we talk about that.
We were at a tournament, or we went to the bar, just me and my wife.
This was World League or was
World League, yeah. It's this guy Hector Beltran. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He runs Academy JJ and some of the schools. He's affiliated with Checkmat.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my wife are just in there. I left my phone at my room. She left her phone in the room. We left the kids up there, and I was like, I just want just me and you. Let's go have a drink, and just downstairs we'll have a drink, and then we'll go out to dinner. So we're just sitting there, and I was just talking about what happened, like the tournament, how I did. It's just mental shit. And then this guy is sitting there. I didn't know who he was. I didn't even realize he had the coach's pass. His ears are all fucked up. And then he was like, hey, and then he started asking me, he's like, hey, how old are you? And whatever. And he was just talking to me about he's like, I love the fact that you're like 40 and you're like out here fucking competing.
How old is he?
Shit. I think he was like 30 something, but he's a black belt for like a long time.
Yeah.
So we got into this big conversation, but a big part of it was the fact that he was talking about how there's a lot of bad with jiu-jitsu. Like there's a lot of parents that pushing their kids. Like there's a lot of kids now that don't go to school. Like they're just like homeschooled and they just do jiu-jitsu 8 hours a day. And he's like, that's so bad for them. Like maybe if the kids really that's what they want, but for the most part, it's the parents. Like, you have to train, you have to train, you have to train, you have to train to be the best.
What do you think? You think that's just parents trying to live vicariously, or
100%? That's what he was saying too. It's like he's like, there is going to be those. There are going to be some that
in motocross. There's like all these sports. You have the same thing, like in motocross and like auto racing. Like we have a family member who does like that midget car racing and stuff too. So it's kind of like that in like every sport where a kid can like excel to like superstar, NFL or NASCAR level, or UFC level.
But the thing is you burn out. Like you watch these kids, they burn out by the time. I think like there's even kids at our school that are really fucking good.
And they might resent you,
but they're
later
like,
on,
they might resent you.
But if it's something that they're driving,
that's different. Support
if
them.
this is your dream, bro, I'm all for it.
That's exactly that was my thing. But when the parent is pushing it, it makes it hard. And then the thing is like they call it the gentle art. It's fucking full of injuries, man.
Yeah,
always.
Especially at our age.
Fingers, knees, elbows, like
2 screws in that finger.
Like, and they're starting at a younger age, so they're just gonna.
Don't you wish you would have started at that age?
Of course you do.
Imagine 20 years old, you're a black belt.
Of course,
jiu-jitsu.
Of course, but when you're forcing your kid to do this stuff and forcing them these are injuries they're gonna have. Like my son, he's already got popped his knuckles and stuff, so a few of his knuckles are really fat already. He's only 13, and it's like I'm not forcing him.
Arthritis later.
I'm not forcing him, but those are those things that if you're forcing your kid, those are injuries that are gonna reflect later in life.
I kind of look at jiu-jitsu because I feel that it's so important. And maybe I'm biased because I did get fucking bullied so much that and my son is he's not an aggressive child. So I could see where he could get bullied and stuff. And that's why I'm glad he's really into football and and he does jiu-jitsu. And I've kind of, this may be right or wrong, but I've kind of put jiu-jitsu in our household where it is the same as your regular school. Like you need to learn to be smart and you need to learn how to be physically smart at the same time. So anytime my son has a bad day and he's like, I don't want to do jiu-jitsu anymore, I say, one, you can quit when you're a black belt, and two, you come talk to me after you've had a good day at jiu-jitsu and tell me if you still want to do it. Because every time he has a good day, because we also do who was it that came and did a seminar and they told us where they motivate their kids financially.
That was Hoyler.
I do the same fucking shit. So
he did,
but I do it with screen time. So
he did say he also said I don't know if it was him or no. Hickson was saying it in his book. I don't know if you read his book, but read where he was saying he would give his kid more money when they lost a tournament. Like they competed, but he would give them more money when they lost a tournament because, like if he won, it was like $10 because for them it's like you should win.
Yeah.
You're expected to win, so $10, whatever. Ooh, you won. But when you lose, there's a lesson to be learned there. Like, so my son competed this week too. I don't
For
push
wrestling or for jiu-jitsu?
both.
Okay.
One did wrestling. My older son made it CIF
Oh, nice.
for wrestling.
Is he still is
He lost.
Okay.
So he lost his first match. He got a bye. Fucking worked the dude his second match. Just destroyed him, and then he lost his last match, which took him out. But CIF,
So
2
like
years
what,
of wrestling.
So
is
it
fucking
was like
insane.
first round or second round? Would that still be
First
considered
round.
the first round?
Yeah, because it's the day one, then they have day two, and then after you win that, then you go to the following week. You go to Masters.
What's
then after Masters,
your
you go
older
to
son's
state.
name?
Nathan.
Nathan. Okay,
Yeah.
so Nathan did wrestling and
Yeah.
Noah did jiu-jitsu.
And then Noah wanted to do jiu-jitsu. He wanted to. He's been wanting to compete, but like, just so many things going
He's
on.
good.
And so I wanted him to compete before he gets his green belt, because then he's gonna be like, I don't want to compete again.
For a while, anyways.
Yeah. And so I was like, all right. So we did World League, and he did good. He lost little things. He didn't do anything that he does in the gym. So I think it's just that he doesn't compete enough. But he lost, and he finished.
He freezes when he gets on his back.
Yeah.
And I know he knows how to. I know
He knows
how
all
to.
Well, he went for
frame up and stuff.
like a pendulum sweep, which is his favorite sweep. And what does he do? He forgets to grab the arm. So when he goes for the underhook, he basically opened his legs instead of grabbing the arm to get it. And I'm like, and that's his favorite sweep. And I'm like, bro. And he goes, yeah,
nerves, probably nerves.
Yeah, but so he lost, and afterwards he came up to me. I told him good job, whatever. And then he was smiling, and we were talking.
That's good.
He was like, I lost, I messed up here, but we were joking around and having fun, and like.
But at least was that his first time competing?
No.
Oh, okay,
but it's been a minute. Like
Okay.
he hasn't competed probably a year.
Oh, okay.
Now, so it's been a long time since he's competed.
Is he gonna do the in-house?
I don't know yet. He might. The only reason he didn't want to do the in-house is because there's a certain professor that's no longer with our school, and his kid is still a gray belt, even though he should probably be a green belt, because he's fucking ridiculous. And so he didn't really like competing there because he was like, dude, it's not even fair. Like, but anyways, so then he lost the second match. He did really good, but afterwards. But the point being is like he was okay with himself losing, and he was okay failing, and it's kind of a lesson that you need to learn, is how to fail gracefully and how to learn from your failures. And like you were talking about, you having your kid doing it, I think that's huge. Like learning at a young age that life isn't full of fucking victories, that you're gonna fall on your fucking face sometimes, and you need to get up and just dust yourself off, learn from it, and keep fucking going. And that's like not just jiu-jitsu or sports. That's business. That's your love life. That's fucking just life in fucking general, right? So it's a great way to learn it as a kid.
And with jiu-jitsu, honestly, like if you're a white belt and you're watching this, just showing up like as many times a week as you can, and just trying, like just trying. Not saying you got to like fucking overachieve like crazy, but just showing up, even if you never watch any videos or do any other training, or
just go to class.
If you just go to class consistently and just pay attention and try to learn from it, you will progress.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, dude, I don't have time to watch YouTube videos. I don't have time to really do anything. Like I have a bunch of books that I've been like meaning to thumb through, and there's like I always save videos I see on Instagram, but I never go back and watch them. Yeah, but it's like
I started downloading them to my phone directly, and then like before class, I'm like, oh, what's that one?
That's what I need to do. But if you just show up and just keep, and as a white belt, one of my buddies who's been doing jiu-jitsu a little bit longer than I am, who kind of has like a similar company as me, he told me just don't quit.
Yeah.
You're as a white belt, just survive. Just you're probably not going to win. Just survive. Just keep coming. Just survive and learn as much as possible. Blue belt for me, it felt like that's when pieces of the puzzle started like coming together. Purple belt, I started putting together like a plan, and then brown belt feels like it's still kind of putting together the plan, but kind of finessing it now. Black belt, I feel like it's going to start all over because then, like you guys I think said last week, with black belts, like you could be, in whatever master's division, and then that dude could be a black belt for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know nothing compared to him.
Yeah,
If he's been going consistently for 20 years
you have nothing.
as a black belt, like you
Yeah.
are a white belt to him.
Yeah,
Like unless you're, some amazing phenom, it's so I feel like black belt, it's just going to start all over again, and I don't know. I hope I'm able to do it for a long
I mean,
time.
I don't. When I started, I didn't necessarily have a goal to like make it to black belt. I just wanted to be active, and like I always wanted to do jiu-jitsu. I never looked at myself and was like, I'm gonna be a black belt.
Yeah,
right.
I don't think I
never looked at myself
either.
and was like, I'm gonna make it to fucking purple belt. Like it was just like, let's see how long I do this. That was kind of my mindset. Like, let's see how long I do it.
I wanted to learn how to grapple because
it looked fun.
I'd been doing all this gunfighting stuff, and because of Taekwondo, I thought I knew how to throw hands, and I thought I knew how to kick, and that's completely fucking false.
Yeah.
Like
Muay Thai is a bit different. It's the truth.
Like if you are debating going into Taekwondo and or Muay Thai, Taekwondo will completely mess you up for Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Like it will mess you up. It's better not knowing any Taekwondo and going into Muay Thai.
Yeah. Or kickboxing.
Yeah, and it's I just wanted to learn how to grapple, honestly, and I wanted to be perfectly honest. I just wanted to lose weight. Like I wanted to not be 300 pounds.
I don't even know if jiu-jitsu itself was what made me lose weight. What made me lose weight is
maybe
I
the
wanted
motivation.
I wanted to be better for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like I was tired of
always
fucking
tell people
gassing
that.
out. I was tired of like
It'll make you eat
struggling.
better. It'll make you work out more.
So it wasn't necessarily that the jiu-jitsu. Don't get me wrong. It's an intense workout.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I go, it's a crazy intense workout. But it made me get into weight training because I was like, I don't want to get injured. I want to be stronger.
Yeah.
Everything I've done to lose.
So go on what you were saying.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
You're saying how it motivates you to.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was just saying it's not jiu-jitsu necessarily that made me lose weight. It was just it motivated me to eat healthier, to like lift weights, to like work on my cardio. I don't even like competing. I really don't.
I don't either.
I don't enjoy it.
Here I am. Look at Grayson.
Yeah. I don't enjoy competing. I enjoy the process.
If I could, I would compete more if somebody would just be like, "Hey, you're competing Saturday," and I'd just be like,
"You hear that, Omar?"
Like that's one way to get me to do it.
Yeah.
Like how we did with the in-house. He was just like, "Hey, I need you to compete because there's no one in his bracket. When is it? Saturday." Okay. Like, because I fucking hate the build-up. Like I have so much to worry about with work and all kinds of other shit. Like I don't need that little extra anxiety that it causes me.
Need a little bit mental space, real estate to take.
Yeah, I don't have that.
But I enjoy this. And then Anthony, this is what Anthony always tells me. He's like, you fucking like to suffer, and it is. I think it's like I like the build up, the grind, the running, the sweating.
Is it that you like it, or is it that you are worried that
I want to work harder than the other person?
Okay,
because I don't want to show up and lose, and it be because I didn't work hard enough.
See, my thing is I just don't want to fall. I don't really worry about that so much. I don't want to fall off the wagon and get fucking fat again. That's my motivation. Yeah. I go on the scale every day and I'm like, fuck, I only lost a pound.
Well, I went to the tournament. I weighed in. So it's my fucking. So I woke up that day. I competed at 208. I woke up that day on my scale. It was 209. That day. So it was a pound over. I'm like, fuck. Is it 207? 208. I don't remember. So I was a pound over. Mm-hmm. So I was like, fuck. So I got on the sauna suit and I jumped in the sauna for like an hour. And came out and I was like 203. So I was like, cool. Or 206. And then drove to Anaheim. I weighed in and I was like 203 on their scale. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like,
go get a cheeseburger.
Yeah, so I was like, maybe I didn't even have to cut weight. Yeah. So I can't tell if it was like my scale that's off or their scales are under, like what it is. But it is what it is. But it's like this time, I tried to be as healthy as possible. I've trained. I've been training like 8 or 10 times a week. I've been lifting. I've been running. I go out the assault bike. I've been doing the assault bike. And then
do you run Oh, on a treadmill.
Yeah, I run the treadmill, and then I do the assault bike, and then I've had nutritionist.
Yeah.
So I've had a meal plan because I had to lose 20 pounds from our trip. I was 221.
How much did you end up gaining from that trip?
I was 215 when we left, and then I think I was like
the same weight.
I think I came back at like 225, and then within like 2 days I was back down to like 223. But then I was like, fuck, I'm gonna compete. So now I had to get down to 207, and like normally I starve myself, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna hire someone, and I was like, here's the deal. I know it's not healthy. I got to lose 20 some pounds by this date in the month and a half or whatever it was. And I was like, I can't have carbs because carbs gives me asthma. So if you're going to give me carbs, it's got to be like minimal carbs. And then he made a plan. And at first it was a lot of food. And I was like, I don't even eat this much.
Yeah.
And it was like 5 meals a day. And I was like, fuck, that's a lot. And I was like, that's kind of like, is this going to work? You know?
Yeah.
And then like every week I weigh myself.
He's the professional, so you can't fucking argue.
And then it was cool. I thought was interesting. Is I don't look at myself as an athlete. But like 3 weeks in to this, he was like telling me like I had to talk to my professor about you because you're doing things different. Like he's not used to. He's like athletes, like the way that you were.
Who was this? Was this Omar?
Yeah, Omar. Yeah, and he was saying something about like working with an athlete versus like a normal person, because it's like, dude, you're fucking running, you're fucking lifting weights, you're in the fucking gym all the time.
So
he's
normally working with like
normal people that are just trying to get.
Well, this is probably good for him then, like to be able to.
Yeah, so he had to tell me, but I was like, when he told me, he was like, oh, I don't normally work with athletes, and I was like, I'm a fucking athlete, I'm just a fat dad. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But then I was like, man, I guess, man, I'm
compare yourself to the average person. I mean,
yeah, I guess. You know? But I thought it was cool that he even like brought that up. And I just never like crossed my mind that at this point that I'd be considered an athlete. But
yeah, I mean, if you're competing and you're, I mean, look how much time you spend a day,
training,
basically training, whether it be
Yeah.
in here or whether it be, in the gym.
Yeah.
That's, I would consider that an athlete.
Yeah. Anyway, so I had my tournament.
Yeah, how'd that go? So,
well, first, there's supposed to be 4 people in our bracket,
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5. So we go up, and there's only one on the purple belt there. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it's a big ass motherfucker.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like looking at him, and
he looks like he's in your weight class?
No, he doesn't.
What the fuck?
And so I'm like, in my mind,
they're gonna boost you up or something.
I have my headphones on. Nobody's near me, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put my game face on and act completely unfazed by anything,
Mm-hmm.
and not nervous. And I was just kind of like bouncing around, just kind of like watching fights and stuff. And I could see him, and he was like sitting there, like looking down, but he's a big dude. And I'm like, fuck. So then he comes up to me and he goes, hey, are you in heavy? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, all right, me too. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, fuck.
Why did he even talk to you? Like that's
so the whoever went and talked to him, and no one showed up. So it was just me and him.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I was like, all right. So then he
super
told
tall
me
or something?
he's like 6'3" or something. And he was
shit.
like, he looked massive. So then I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. Put my headphones back on. And so then I'm like, okay. So then they're like, no one showed up. So it was just me and him. And so the first round, he pulled guard. Like,
So what does that mean? You guys fight twice or just once? Okay.
Yeah, well, 3 times. Like if I win one, he wins one, then we go 3 times. 2, So he pulls guard, and he had a really good half guard. I couldn't pass his half guard, and he ended up underhooking me and then getting out. But that first one, we were like back and forth, boom, boom. I kept sweeping him.
Was he just fucking strong and just was able to?
He wasn't
kind of push you
as
over?
strong as I thought. He didn't feel as strong as I thought.
But you couldn't
in my mind,
you couldn't hold him down with your weight?
No, because he kept underhooking when I was trying to pass. So he had a really good. He was really good. Like he had a good game. But then the first one, we were going back and forth. Like I kept sweeping him, and then he was sweeping me.
So you never ended up like on
side
his chest,
control. Nope.
like even with the half guard.
Nope.
Okay.
And so I lost 2-4. Swept him a few times. And
That's still pretty close.
Yeah, and then the second match, we win again. I felt fine. Like my cardio was good.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't gassed or anything, which was fucking awesome. Because normally I'm fucking tired in the tournament. I didn't feel gassed. Didn't feel sore. Like no, in the tournament, like you usually like burned your like I felt good,
especially if your grip.
Yeah.
For
So I
fucking
felt
5
good.
minutes.
And then the second match, he basically did the same thing, swept me, got on top, and he just held me there. And then I was able to finally create a scramble and like get out. We stood up, chased him, pulled guard
Oh
again.
shit! So you got back up.
Yeah, and then like he.
So by then you're down how many points?
I don't know. The last one I think it was down like 4 or 5 points or something like that because he swept me twice, and then it's just sweeps. He never passed my guard until the very end. I was like, fuck, it's already done. But it was a good match, and then afterwards,
Where was he from? Do you remember what
I
school
don't
he was
remember. But afterwards, when we were talking, he was telling me he's like, yeah, my professor knows you, and I was like, what? And he said, my professor said that you went up against one of his white belts and you beat his white belt, and he said then you went up against one of his blue belts and you beat his blue belt last time, and he's like, so he kind of was like, no.
So they were probably
He was familiar with my game.
Had your game changed?
Yeah.
Has your game changed from white and blue to what you were doing?
Not much.
So I wonder if they went and because it's World League. I wonder if they went and watched the videos and were like, look, this is what you normally does.
Yeah, this could have. I mean, I've gotten better. I normally play like deep half stuff. You know, when I'm on the bottom for sweeps and stuff. I try not to be on the bottom, but like if it happens, I usually go deep half and go for
try not
sweeps.
to be. I fucking hate being on the bottom.
And so, but he told me that, and I was like, that's cool. For me, I was like, I think that's kind of cool. It sucks, but it's cool that he he's.
They're probably fucking just like a football team would. They're watching game footage.
I don't know. I just thought it was cool that he it's kind of a respect.
Yeah, they fucking acknowledged it.
Yeah, they was like, oh, this guy's pretty good, so they kind of knew a bit of my game or whatever. Yeah. But the dude was good. He was super nice, and I think that's what's cool about the competitions too. Is like afterwards you talk, and it's like super cool. Like it's like, hey man, it's a good fucking roll. Like that was really good. And he was like, dude, you're like framing and your guard is like, it's fucking really good. So
I remember competing as a white belt one time, and like I think it was the World League, and I'm fucking like grip fighting with this guy, and then like I was just like, I told him I was like, I'm fucking tired. I told the guy that, he's like, me too.
That's hilarious. Yeah. I mean, last year I competed 10 times.
God
and
damn.
so my goal last year was to get to World Masters and compete.
Mm-hmm.
And the year before that, I competed a few times, but I was like so nervous, and it really messed me up.
That makes a big difference,
and
dude.
So my idea was last year was like, I'm going to compete as much as I fucking can to try not to be nervous, so I can get rid of the like jitters and be like, oh, I'm going to compete. Like, oh, it's such a big deal. And to try to normalize it for myself. And I think this time it definitely helped.
If you go in there, I think like just not kind of giving a fuck.
Yeah.
And like my last World League, I just didn't give a fuck. Like I just didn't think about it. I was just like, whatever, fucking, it is what it is. Yeah, and then I started getting so fucking pissed off with the guy because he kept he was I don't think he was from the United States, but he kept fucking headbutting me like over and over until my nose finally exploded. And then I almost got disqualified because it wouldn't have stopped bleeding. So like this is, if you're prone, and I don't normally get bloody noses, but I didn't know this. If you're prone to like bloody noses or bleeding a lot, and if you wear a white gi and the gi gets stained with too much blood and they can't get your nose to stop, you can get disqualified for that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like that's why some people will bring two gis or at least another top, because if you
kind of sanitary thing, yeah.
That, or I guess that would be the reason. So so he was a fucking dick too. Like he tried to tell the refs that I was headbutting him, but I'm clearly the one fucking bleeding and all that, and he was just being a fucking asshole. So I ended up beating him, but
yeah, there's definitely some people out there like that. So, but I mean, I walked away. I had fun. The dude was super cool. It was a fun roll. Like it was a good roll. Like it was enjoyable, and it was interesting because you
got out from being, you got back to standing up.
Yeah, now I'll probably post like the full matches here, maybe on the channel if anyone's interested. I'll probably create a new like.
You ever thought about just posting the videos and then like doing like audio commentary? Like you could do a separate video, like
just reviewing
Anthony,
like a breakdown.
You and Anthony could just do a breakdown, like after you do this, or maybe even during, and you could just be like, maybe I should have done this.
Yeah,
and this,
yeah.
and this.
I think that'd be cool
Yeah.
to do.
I think people would
I
watch.
think that'd be interesting. But I mean, for me, I wasn't nervous. I felt good. The roll was fucking fun. I actually had a lot of fun with the roll. Obviously, I didn't get injured. That's like a huge thing.
Yeah.
I was a little sore the next day, but I mean, who isn't sore after like a tournament, like competition? But like,
I still get sore from
I
fucking
fucking-
training.
I felt good, and I had a lot of fun with it. And then that weekend we went to like it's right near downtown Disney, so we were
Mhm.
like Pokemoning, like
No fuck.
Insane.
Yeah, there's like a billion
yeah,
of
yeah.
them there.
yeah. So then we went to eat, and like I had pizza and pasta and fucking like I went to this restaurant and they had like a downtown Disney. It's like they had good pizza there, but they had like a family meal thing. It's four of
shit.
us, so I was like, okay, I'll order that.
Yeah.
And then I ordered like 2 extra things, and then the food came, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like,
Yeah.
this is for 4 people, and then
It's a fucking feast.
yeah, and then the dude was
Then
like,
your bill comes out. It's like $200.
yeah, it was like $200. But then the dude goes like, yeah, he's like, sometimes a family of like 3 will try to order this, and I have to be like, I like, hey, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, you should have fucking told me, because it was like a pizza, it was like a big ass fucking thing of spaghetti,
Oh,
and then it was
shit.
like a big ass 2 big fucking salads.
That's like 6.
Yeah,
7 people.
and then I ordered like what the fuck? I ordered like the bread
Mhm.
and then like one appetizer,
Yeah.
and that was it. And I was
Fuck,
like,
that's a lot of.
I was
food.
like, dude, this is so much food, and we couldn't finish it. I was like, I felt bad because I'm like, I'm not carrying it around all day, but
You know, have you ever been to Trader Sam's? In the
mm-mm.
that's so. So you went with us to the tiki bar in Tromsø. That's actually a really cool tiki bar. So it's right next to the Disney Hotel, and they serve food there, and the food's actually really good. They have really good food there. So anytime like we're down in that area, you can walk in or you can try to get reservations. But it's really really cool bar, like a lot of animatronics and shit going on.
I was gonna ask you because this Monday, by the time this podcast comes out, I'll be in Peoria. If you knew any tiki bars in Peoria, because I'm gonna go over there.
Where's
Illinois?
that at? Illinois.
Yeah, it's a small town, so maybe not. But yeah, so I'm taking my gi with me. That's another
Do you
reason.
know where you're training at?
Not yet. I don't know if I'm trained. I'm taking 2 gis with me just to have them. Because if it's snowing, I'm not driving anywhere.
Yeah,
Because
fuck that.
Yeah, it's supposed to snow a little, and if it's snowing, I'm not driving.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But if it's not, then I'm gonna try to go find a gym and just train. And that was another reason. Like
When you're looking for the gym, do you ever look on their social media, like
oh yeah,
to see
yeah.
like if
Yeah.
like
So
if
the
you're
ones in the
smashed or
area,
not?
the ones in the areas where I'm at, they're like a Krav Maga, jiu-jitsu, karate, jiu-jitsu, and I'm just like,
I won't do that.
Yeah, I was like, that's probably gonna be not whatever. The ones that are good are like 30, 40 minutes away,
Yeah.
and so that's where I'm like, fuck. If it's snowing, I'm not driving 30, 40. I don't mind driving 40
I've
minutes.
never
It's not
I've
that
never
far.
dropped in at a gym.
Yeah,
I actually had a dream about that though, like the other day that I went to a gym and like dropped in. It was weird, but I've never done that before.
yeah, I've done it in Texas once. It was pretty cool. Yeah, but
Do you
so
get
it came-
more? Do you get now? You know, now that you're purple belt. Do you
I
like?
don't know.
Do you get like nervous? You're like
I am nervous that I'm gonna show up as a purple belt because they're gonna be
yeah, and
Next
then they're
expected.
like, this motherfucker ain't no purple
yeah.
belt. Or like,
So we were talking about not one of your fears is gaining weight again. So
Uh-huh.
after this tournament, I was like, I don't want to. I have a problem where I yo-yo. I go up to like
Yeah.
220, 215, and then I go back down
it's
for a
so
competition.
fucking easy. Like,
Yeah. So when I came back from the tournament, I was 210. And so then I started back on the diet, the meal plan,
Mhm.
and I told them because next week I'm traveling and it's gonna be hard for me to diet. So I was like, when I come back, my plan is to diet, but not
More
maybe
leaner.
slow down how much I lose weight, so I'm not in a rush, but do like a recomp
Mhm.
where I'm changing fat to muscle. But at the same time, I was thinking to myself, this week because it happened this weekend, I want to still continue with my cardio and stuff. So if I do show up at a gym, I'm not fucking dying, and I can still say I still have that cardio. I still
Yeah.
lower in weight. I can still like get a good roll in and not like fucking die on my first roll or our warm ups aren't like we don't really warm up too hard at our
No.
gym. But I've shown it at some gyms I've seen they fucking they warm up hard.
where did I see that? I saw something where, I think it was Instagram, where it's almost kind of like a business practice. Like it's hit and miss. Like if you if your warm-ups are too intense,
too much, then you won't get enough people to
yeah,
stay.
so it's like, but then again, like,
I think it varies.
it's hard. Like, what do you want? Like, you want guys that are gonna like, do you want like these? Do you want to build
Yeah.
athletes, or do you want to?
Big money.
Yeah,
It's hard.
I think you got to find that sweet spot in the middle.
Well, that's where the comp classes come in.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a comp class?
Like the ones on Saturdays.
Well, when he has comp classes,
where it's just
usually
like
an hour
constant rolls.
before. An hour before, those are.
I
Those
like
are
those
brutal.
because I like to roll so much, and I don't like taking breaks. So like, you just keep going.
Yeah, you keep going. Yeah, I think I mentioned before. One time we were in the comp class and a white belt showed up, right in the middle.
Good
like,
for him.
No. Carol got up and she was like all fucking drenched. She walked over to him. He's like, hey, and then he's like, yeah, I'm coming here for the class. And she's like, oh, my friend. she's like, hey, like if you want to do this class, I'm all like, hey, good for you. But she gave him a little.
She's like, but there's monsters.
Yeah,
in here.
she's like, let me give you warning. Nobody in here is gonna take it easy on you just because you're a white belt. There's no breaks, and everyone's training for a competition.
Did he stay?
No, he didn't. He turned around and walked out.
Is he still with us?
I don't even remember who it was.
Oh,
I was in the
shit.
middle of a fucking roll. I just remember looking over and hearing my friend, and then hearing that little speech, and I was like, inside I felt good. I was like, yeah, that's right, coming out here,
That's funny.
But yeah, those comp rolls, those were always pretty fucking gnarly. And so
I walked into a Muay Thai class like that, like
a competition
2 months ago. They were like, hey, I walked in. He's all, oh, just to let you know, today is full sparring. And I didn't really know what that meant. And I was like, okay. I fucking my ass beat every which way. It was just all sparring at like, because there's like levels. There's like 50, 75. But
yeah,
like, nobody fucking goes.
it's so hard to gauge what
Dude,
percentage.
And that's why you guys have talked about this before. I hurt a kid really bad when I was younger, fighting, like really bad, like to where he still has a cane. And like, I'm afraid
to hurt someone.
to hurt somebody. Like, I'm legit. Like, I feel like if that incident never happened when I was a kid, I feel like I'd be much more. Like today, I hurt a girl in Muay Thai. I fucking
Guys over here beating up women and
kicked
shit.
her right in the fucking right in the fucking thigh, right in the femur, and she went down. And I felt like so fucking bad, like I really don't want to fucking hurt people. And I feel like even when I'm striking, I feel like I can hit further, but I don't want to like.
Yeah, you try to.
I can't tell what, like, I feel like I go like 30-40%. Like, I feel like
It's
80%.
hard.
Yeah, I don't know. And maybe it's just because I haven't been there long enough, so I don't know like really what I can open up to. And even with jiu-jitsu, like when I like when you're going like 100%, it almost feels like chaos because like you're going so fast. You're like, this is where if I'm gonna get hurt. Like when you start wrapping around each other and everything's moving quick, you're like, if I'm gonna get hurt, this is where.
That's also when you're done. You're like,
and you make it without getting hurt.
Yeah.
You're like, that was fucking.
Yeah, you're like, that was fucking fun.
Especially like the best rolls are when they're like that. You can manage that safely, and then it's a back and forth.
So
like I don't like to always like if you're just smashing somebody, it's like that's cool and all. But if you can get a back and forth, you're like,
that's where it's fun.
And then you escape it, get on top of them, they go back and forth. That shit is golden.
I think his name's Efron, the firefighter dude.
Yeah. He's fucking good.
We went this week at the 10 a.m. And it was only a few of us in there. It was all purple belts. And I was like,
you walked in, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I was like, all right. I was like, okay. So me and him went at it, and it fucking turned into a hard fucking roll. Like,
he took a break for a long time too, but he's really good.
He tore his ACL.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, in the tournament. So we went at it, and even Rich. I don't know if you know who Richard is. He's one of the black belts, but he only goes. Yeah. So he was like, I could see him watching us, and he was like watching, and he was like, he was like, you guys fucking. He's like, that was fun to watch. You guys went at it
because it gets start cranking up. It gets fast.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, because it starts slow, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, 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 boom.
When that's happening, are you thinking like, fuck, I got to be careful, I don't get hurt? Like,
no, I don't.
Because usually when I'm like that, that's when I usually wrap around somebody like this, and then it's like fucking danger zone. Yeah, like somebody's getting thrown or something. So like, it's usually when it starts going really fast. So like, depending on where like how I feel, I'll wrap up like this, and I'm like either like fuck this shit, push off, or
he gave me a super good compliment, which was awesome. He was just like you've always been strong. He's like, but you're getting fucking fast. He's like, your cardio and you're getting fucking fast. Like that was because it was like an intense.
Some people think that's like a backhanded compliment when they tell you like, oh, you're really strong.
I'm like, yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, like I don't think so. Like they think it's like, oh, because you're only using strength. Like to me, I mean, then you get fucking strong. Then
Strength is a technique.
Yeah,
man.
I think so too. So
yeah, I know he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it in that.
But
sense,
at the same time, it's
some
gangster.
people have told me that.
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
gangster as
fuck outta
fuck when
here.
you can be strong and then at the same time like fucking know your shit. Like
Yeah, it doubles your technique. It makes your technique even better. Yeah. So, yeah, we've been having. I think I messaged you. I was like, hey, we're gonna have like 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m.
yeah, I was.
It's been literally.
I think I was out of town.
It's literally just been me and Richard
at
the gym.
Oh, really?
That's it. So it's like a private lesson, and so we'll roll, and then
who's opening for you guys?
He has a key.
Oh,
so we
Richard,
just call
Black
Belt Richard.
Oh, okay.
So we'll
He's
call
the one
him
that wears the
He's a wrestler.
Captain America gi.
I don't know if he has a Captain America gi, but
he's a tall white dude.
He's taller. He's thick. He's a nurse.
I don't know if I know him. He's a 6 a.m. guy?
No, 10 a.m. So he's like, I've been going to 10 a.m. a lot, and so he's been there, and then he was like, hey, because he works like 12-hour shifts.
He's a black belt, huh?
Yeah, he's a black belt. He's like, I can't come to the classes, and he's like, and we only have the 10 a.m. X amount days, so he's like, he was telling people like, hey, I can't guarantee I'll do a 10 a.m. on like Tuesday or Thursdays, but
oh, I would like it.
But he was like
Tuesday or Thursday 10 a.m.
But he was like, but if I can, like, I want to set something up so we can, like, if I can make it, I'll come in. And he's like, I do also want to be selected because I don't know everybody, and I want to fucking deal with someone getting hurt, and I want cool people, whatever.
Yeah.
So we've been coming, and me and him, and going, yeah. And I show up, and it's like me and him, and we'll roll. We'll do it like a good warm up, and then we'll roll, and then he'll be like, what do you want to work on? What technique do you want to work on? And then
good.
we'll drill some techniques, and then we'll roll again. And then like, all right, work on techniques, and then roll again. And we just like, and it's helped me like tremendously. Like, he's been showing me some like escapes and takedowns.
That's
and
a
stuff
lot
like
of it.
that.
If you could just like, so I even have rollout mats, and
I have mats right there. Those those are 3 4x8 mats.
And how often you probably take them out?
I used to do it all the time, but I'm always at the gym now, so it's like I don't necessarily need to go. But like,
I think that's
I've had
bread and butter. If you can do it,
I've had guys come over on the weekends and we'll just drill.
If you can do it at your own pace and at your own time, and just kind of like go over it and let it like
study it.
Yes.
Not just like,
because sometimes it's kind of hard at the gym because you're like, he shows a technique and then sometimes he'll show 2 even.
Yeah.
And you'll do it a bunch of times, but like,
you don't get to
I'm
study
easily distracted,
Yeah.
ADD. So like, and then it's kind of like you're there with the homies, so you're kind of like fucking
Having
social
fun.
hour.
Yeah, it's like a fun thing.
Yeah, talking shit. So it's
Yeah.
like, but if you could just like fucking focus on that shit and like, and I can see where that'd be good where there's no other distractions.
Also, it's different because it's like when you're just because you learn the technique doesn't mean that's how that technique is going to work for you.
Yeah,
you're not Omar.
Yeah,
you're not built like Omar, or you're not built like whoever's teaching you. So you may not be able to get your foot in this way or do this way, and so you have to figure out, how do I make this technique work for me and my style and my body? And so
and then there might not be enough time for that because
because you're just trying to get you're just trying to understand it.
Yeah.
And so when you get the opportunity to do that, you can work on that and figure it out. So one of the things, this tournament, I tried to do a sweep that Richard just showed me, and I couldn't get it to work. And then after I watched the footage, and I was like, and even Misa was like, dude, you got to scoot in. And then I was rolling with Misa, and he's like, I thought you were going to sweep me, but you weren't close enough. And so something I'm realizing is I'm not connecting enough. I'm too far away on some of the sweeps that I'm doing, and so I don't have the leverage, and I need to start like working on like bringing myself under people and making a connection to make the sweep work. And even watching the footage, I was like, I could see the gap between my ass and like, there's no way I'm fucking pulling.
It's weird how when you go back and watch it, you'd be like, fuck, that's what I was doing. But when you're down there, you can't like.
You're like, oh yeah,
process.
Dude, you can see the video.
Yeah,
like I got a lasso sweep. I got the lasso in. I hooked his bottom foot. I got my foot on his fucking hip. I fucking dropped his hand, grabbed his collar, and I was gonna fucking try to balloon sweep him. And all you see me is go, and you see me do it like 4 or 5 times. Do you ever and I was like, this isn't working. And I switched to something else. But then after I watched it, I was like, dude, if I would have just went like. Yeah, and got in close.
It just fucking
boom. It would have worked.
Do you ever record yourself at?
Yes.
So I'll do that every now and then. I'll do it especially with Stacey, but I'll record our or sometimes I'll record the rolls and watch it.
Yeah, learn.
And I do the same thing for Muay Thai too. In Muay Thai, it's making a big difference because I'm like, how come I don't look like the guys that have been doing it a while? So then
you can see what they're doing.
More so like, and I've caught myself too. Like, yeah, I'm videotaping myself, but then I go end up watching what Kyle does, or I'm watching what these other guys are doing striking, and like, okay, why aren't I doing this? And then, like this, like the girl that I accidentally hurt today, she has this style where she will post out. I felt bad where she'll post out and then she'll go for like a body shot, and so I'm like watching it. I'm like, okay, where's the fucking?
So she's setting it up.
Yeah, she's setting it up. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna catch this one and like slap this one down, and then so like today I already knew she was gonna do that. So today I was already planning on, okay, I need the fucking and then, but
yeah, I think watching the footage helps. But
it's weird how you just like, why can't I be doing that when I'm on my back? Like,
well, it's just like when you're coaching someone, you see everything, and they don't. And
it makes a huge difference.
And you're like, hey, their guard is open, just pass.
Yeah.
But when you're in the moment, you're like, oh, I gotta get out of this guard.
I see it all the time with
kids. You don't feel
kids.
it open. You don't feel their guard open, and you're just like, you're like double under, and then and then when they do it, it's like boom. Oh yeah, see,
that's the best. That's like when I'm doing the kids and teens classes, because a lot of times they'll just fucking ignore you. Sometimes they'll just be like, just ignoring you. And when I love when you tell them like just start framing, and then they're like they don't know what it means, and then I'm like I actually will put their hands there and put their hands there, and they start framing, and then they're getting their knees in. I'm like fuck,
there you
see,
go,
like that's all,
Yeah, Noah stopped going to the teen class because he's bored. He was like, this is too easy, and he was like really irritated.
I think there needs to
be. He's making a new class.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I think there needs to be
an intermediate,
kids, preteen, teens.
Yeah, he's making a new class. It's gonna be the same time as the adult class at 7 p.m. That will be.
I think it needs to expand.
It'll be like green belts, maybe orange belts, green belts, and blue belt. But what do you call it? What's a blue belt? There's a term for when they're like a teen blue belt. I don't know. When you're a teen blue belt, essentially. So he's gonna make it that because for Noah, it sucks because he's too good for the teen class and he fucks everyone up.
But then
and it's no fun for him. He's just bored and he can't even go hard, because the kids complain because he gives shoulder pressure or something like that and they cry about it. But then he goes to the adult class and it's
too much.
Fuck. Now he's going with adults and it's hard. So now he's gonna make another class for that.
I would love to see Omar take over the building right across from us too,
the one that's
just
been empty.
Yeah, and just run both sides. Like, there's definitely enough room some nights to do that both. I'd be interested to know. Like, I wonder what they charge for rent over there because it's been vacant. I've been with Omar almost 6 years now, and it's been vacant the whole damn time. I've never seen anything go in there.
Anyways, good shit. Fuck you, Anthony, for not being here. Make sure you guys subscribe. All that good shit. Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Good. It was fun. Yeah. I think we had talked about getting you on here a few times. It just never made it happen. So, that's all I got.
Why is it so awkward?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Normally you guys are ending it like
no, fucking bullshit.
That shit was funny. That was when Omar said that on his. That shit was fucking hilarious. Like, he's like, no.
Yeah, no.
He's like, I don't remember exactly what he said. He was like, no. He's like,
he said he's
what the stupid.
He said he's never heard. Yeah, he said he's never heard Helio ever say that.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, no.
Yeah. What is it even supposed to mean? It's just like it doesn't translate very well to English.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. It's probably got multi meaning, like one of those words that has multiple meanings or whatever.
It's like how in Scandinavia, or what was it, like Sweden or whatever, they
what you need to do is when one of the Brazilian black belts come in and you greet him, you need to be like this. Bohara. That's how you breathe. That mean? That's just do it. No. Just do it. Just be like Bohara.
He told me fucking the other day. I shouldn't even say this because now I can't do it if Stacey listens to this. But he told me I'll look it up right now. It's the term for diarrhea.
Oh God.
Because I fucking ate. What did I eat? I ate some what did I eat? I ate something that like fucked up my stomach, and I was like living on the edge. I was like one good knee on belly, and I was squirting. I was like, fuck it, I'm still going to training. Let's see what happens. And
Roll the dice.
yeah, I was fucking like, let's roll the dice, and I was fine. But I was like, I told Omar, I was like, my fucking stomach hurts. I was like, I feel like I got choro, you know. So then it's called the Brazilian term is way more funny. It's called caga negra. Caca negra.
Caga negra?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, and then Omar was trying to explain to me. He's like, it's
Like black shit?
you know, like negra, like that. He's like, you know, like a waterfall coming from your culo.
What was it? He was telling us one time he was teaching when he first came here, he was saying how he was teaching a technique.
Oh.
And it was like
Choke the chicken.
choke the chicken. And everyone's like
He's like, you gotta choke the chicken.
Choke the chicken.
And the dudes were like, bro, we're already doing that.
Yeah.
We don't want to do it here.
Choke the chicken.
So what we were gonna do is I told Omar, I was like, we gotta go to a Brazilian restaurant. And Stacy likes soup, so we gotta say, like, hey, tell the guy you want caga negra.
When we went fishing. We took Omar, and then the day before we went to Ray Delgado's or something like that, one of the Brazilian places. And then of course one of the fucking guys, waiters is Brazil. So then Omar starts talking to him, and then he's got this guy bringing over shit that's not even on the menu, just fucking bringing us over meat and stuff. I was like, fuck yeah. Anyways, have a good one. Hit subscribe. Fucking all the good stuff. Leave a comment. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Thanks for coming on. Go check out his Instagram. I'll probably put it down there somewhere. And then, yeah, peace out.
Caga negra.